Alrighty, what up, what up, what up? Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Alright, sounds like the stream is working fine. Here F6. Ready. Welcome everybody that's following coming into the chat today. I have the chat turned off for now. I'll pull it back up at the end of the game so I can see any comments you guys left. You can also talk in the Lichess game chat. It's also a option. Expecting rookie 1 here. This castle. We're following, I believe, a game that M0r1 played. It's a slightly different, the opening, but I think it transposed a bit. I think within the next 1 or 2 moves, we'll be out of his prep. Get out of the way. And kind of the next move for me is what's going to be. So he played bishop to d4, and that's kind of where his game will probably end that we're following. Right now, this position I think is like plus 0.2 for white, something like negligible. In his game that he played, this was like, it might have been last year. I'm not sure the last time he's had this. His opponent did take. Obviously, that's an option. It wasn't one of the top 3 engine moves though. When I kind of ran the numbers, there's a few different options here that we can play. We can play a5, and a lot of times we get a4, a5, a4. Bishop d7, I think, was another move. Just kind of getting another piece out of the back rank, getting another step closer to connecting our rooks. And then there's this move, knight to f4. So really the 2 moves that I'm considering, these were the top 2 engine moves when I kind of ran the engine earlier today. I let it run to like depth 40. They're about equal. Both like a point, like I said, 0.2, 0.1, like pretty much black's kind of equalized in this position. The very slight possible edge. The move here, I'd be interested to see what he plays if he tries to save the bishop. This move, I believe, is just I think it ends up being a really bad move. Yeah, you play f6 like here, then I think you take and then you play f6. And I think we start getting to like -1, possibly like -1.5 territory. The best move, I think, is bishop to b5 in that position. Um, I'm not sure what exactly would be more natural for people to play. Like right now, there's no pin on the knight. So I don't know if people would be less likely to play bishop to b5 as opposed to the kind of worst move, bishop to f1. Like that's kind of a natural move in a lot of chess openings. Guards the g2 pawn, gets it out of the way for the queen defending d4. I think I kind of settled though on the a5 move earlier. How does it kind of go though? It's like a5, a4. Then was it takes, takes, then f6. Takes. Obviously, we take back with the rook guarding e6 twice. Yeah, it's kind of just said this knight f4 move or a5. I think are they pretty much the two moves that are acceptable for black here. I think like games like this kind of gets awkward. I feel like if he does play the bishop b5, like that's the top move, because I think we do end up taking this bishop, the queen, or the knight gets involved here on d4, and then this knight's a little bit out of the way. It's like I said, it's still one of the top two moves, but I'm not sure if that's kind of what I want to go down. Um, yeah. Uh, 5a4, 7f4. Was it still knight after that? I've definitely not played any positions like this, or like this deep into this type of line in the Caro-Kann. I do play the Caro-Kann, one of my main weapons against e4. Mori just was pretty consistent. He had like 7 or 8 games, maybe up to, I don't know, or around move 9 or 10 that he followed pretty religiously. I think actually maybe the bishop d4 move is what he said 6 or 7 times. Kind of took. It's not a losing move for black at all, but it's still like plus 0.5, plus 0.6 black. a5 or knight f4. I think knight f4 kind of gives him a tougher decision to make. Forget where this knight's supposed to go. Guess it probably comes back. Seems just a little bit awkward. Like, are we just gonna offer a bishop light square bishop trade at some point? Probably not the worst thing. I mean, if we get rid of the light square bishop, most of our pawns are gonna be on light squares probably. You won't have a dark squared bishop. Maybe we can pile up on the e5 pawn. Um, It's like, let's say knight at f4, bishop b5, knight takes d4, queen takes d4. Interesting moves, probably just knight back to g6. Other option here. Five a4. Then what? 5 a4. We're gonna play the knight f4. Let's just see what he does. But I'm pretty much out of my preparation here on move 12, give or take. I know a little bit more if he plays bishop to f1, which seems kind of natural. But we will see. There's possibilities after some f6 that we take back with the g pawn. Some lines, other lines where we're taking back with the queen. These are really the... I don't think he's going to let his bishop get taken on 3, but I could be wrong. Hopefully the internet will hold up. We're expecting a little bit of rain here in South Florida in the United States. Checking my emails, guys. So hopefully the thunderstorm's getting a little bit of windy out there, but hopefully we should be good. Hopefully everybody's having a good start to the week. Normally I don't play on Mondays, but I think I'm going to have a little bit of a busy week. I know I want to try to do a recap with JG Jordan, who we played, and we had a draw last week. We played on Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Saturday afternoon, that's right. So we're going to probably go over our game. Probably not going to be today, but hopefully Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. And at my Lone Wolf game, so both of those things should be streamed. Wow. Bishop c3. Not expecting that. Now a4 pretty much forces or a5 forces a4, because if we ever kick this knight, then, or actually no, I think he's going to take back with the pawn here. Oh. Attackers. Oh, he's got 3 defenders. Play 6 anyways. Opens up his light squared bishop, which usually not a good thing. But it allows for our pawns to mobilize here in the center. Alright, so ideas f6, a5 again. Knight takes d3, all possibilities here. No good knight moves. My knight on c6. I guess bishop to d7 is also a possibility. What else do we have? H4? 5? G5. Like in the G pawn lately. G5. G5, G4. That's another interesting option. Five. To open up these bishops though. If we push G5, then F6 gets a lot weaker. Can't recapture on F6 with the pawn, possibly. F6, pawn kicks, pawn takes. Maybe king. I'm gonna drop the H pawn, but ideas of like king to F7 at some point. Maybe get the rooks along, somehow get the rooks and the queens going down the G file. Gotta make sure we're good on the E6 pawn, but maybe with our king and our light squared bishop. Question is, do I have to do that right away? Maybe I just play bishop D7 first. Don't have to explode my pawns just yet in front of my king. That way, once some of these pawns start getting traded off, we're a little bit quicker to the G file. Alright, let's play attacking there. Bishop D7. It gives him another chance to move the light square bishop if he wants. Fine. Sometimes I feel like I get ahead of myself with going for the attack over developing. Do you have any stats on Maury's page? Got a lot of classical games, which I noticed some of, obviously a lot of the 45 team, a lot of these guys do have a lot of classical. Highly unusual, usually when you're playing it in the random pool, like on the Rapid or Blitz. Not a lot of people have a classical rating. So that's I was pretty confident that we could go down whatever the first 12 moves. So I don't think I'm necessarily following up as precisely as an engine, obviously, but I don't think I've made any crazy blunders either. I know I haven't before maybe this move. It's also nice playing against somebody that kind of has a dedicated opening repertoire. It allows for. Okay, I think I want to. Now I feel like I want to take, and then we could always transfer this knight over to. What is it? G6. Not really going to be any attacks like takes. I don't think. Probably going to take with the pawn if I had to guess. Let's take. Two options. Alright, so we got the bishop pair. We have 1, 2 attackers, 2 defenders of f6 right now. He's got 4 defenders of 4, can't push d4. I feel like knight e7 is just a good overall move. We have options to go to f5 or g6. Doesn't have a light squared bishop to fight us for either of those squares. And so like here, he tries to put pressure here. We can simply block one of the two ways. It opens up our light squared bishop, where maybe we have a nice light square bishop guarding this f1 square from escape routes. So I think we're going to undermine this pawn with an f6 break at some point. This rook probably is going to be along the c file. Bishop's now, or I should say the c pawn's a little bit awkward now. I thought maybe he would take back with the pawn. That way, if like I went here, maybe, I don't know, maybe there were some possibilities where he could get his queen along the g file before we were able to get our queen over to the g file. And also, like this c pawn's gonna take a while. He can't really undermine our own center. At least takes 2 moves. At least here, maybe it reinforces the e5 square, and then he plays along, these dark squares, the bishop. It's a solid pawn duo in the middle, but that is not what he went for. Our bishops have decent eyes, at least on the queen side of the board. Our knight has options of how it wants to redeploy itself. Rook c1 or rook c8 seems like a good move. a6 I don't hate. If he goes like knight there, just bishop c6, and then maybe there's some threats down the line of playing along this a8 h1 diagonal. Yeah, defends obviously the b7 pawn. We don't lose our light square bishop. Yeah, now I think we have options down the line of even like sacrificing this pawn just to open up a nice light squared attack against white's king. Where, like I said, this pawn could have maybe just blockaded our pawn from ever moving. Said he's got huge control over the square with all of his pieces, even really load up on d4, but maybe we're able to pull off some tactics where we push it no matter what. Some ideas white might have. Maybe he tries to get a rook along the 3rd rank, regarding any sort of 4th rank infiltration, at least without him going like that. This dark square bishop, for right now, leaving the pawn there, I think is beneficial for us, blocking white's dark square bishop from participating in the attack. Another idea could be something like this. Then again, maybe we want to be able to play f6. I know it gets kind of scary, but maybe our king can tuck in on f7. We're both just throwing all of our pieces at each other on the king side. That could definitely be a future possibility here. Appreciate everyone stopping in. I see we got 7. That's definitely on the higher end of viewers that I've had in the past. I know a bunch of people were watching Jordan's stream in our last match, and have stopped in consistently when I've been able to get online, so I appreciate that. Again, all of these streams are on my YouTube page for anybody that is watching today, but misses a game in the future. Hopefully they're competitive. I feel like a little bit worried about the last game I played, since I played a brand new opening for white. If you look on my opening tree or whatever, all of my games are 1e4. I know Susie, Jordan's team captain, or top board, I think it was, helped him prep a little bit for e4. I ended up going for a Philidor attack. All right, h4. here? Is he just gonna play like... Okay, I definitely want to get on this diagonal for sure. Now that like any sort of takes, if his queen can't defend, his whole king's gonna be open. Obviously, we can't go there. Here, 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 and that's a no-go. I mean, knight to f5 asks the immediate question, where's this pawn going? And it might just be like h5. Then I think we could play like bishop here. So like here, pawn here, bishop here, because right now he can't do anything. We just pick up the pawn for free. Here, here, I mean, yeah, you can't push G because we can just trade. We can just take win a pawn. Bishop here, like I said, or maybe we have ideas of playing along this light square diagonal. The next question is pretty much just how does our dark squared bishop get involved here? Maybe it's here. Maybe there's some ideas of like a knight getting into g3 with this pin. I'd love to get my queen involved. It's just tough right now with this this knight's doing a great job of guarding the dark squares. All right, but let's play it. Doesn't seem bad. I can see. And no light squared bishop for white to contest us. I'm assuming h5 here. h5, I mean, if I go here and then he plays like g4, I think we're totally fine with that. We just play our knight out here, and if he ever trades, like his king's just wide open. Not really scared of any jumps here. There's no bishop attack. I mean, maybe he tries to, like I said, reroute the bishop somehow. That could be an idea. Like here, here, bishop here, prepping for this move. But then maybe we just play h6 ourselves, and not really a sacrifice there. Our knight guarding. 6. Wow. Wow. Okay. I don't see any reason not to play this move just right now. Well, this knight's become very loose. I mean, this was also an idea. I won't deny that. I think our bishops are going to be loving life. Maybe that was a misstep actually. Maybe I should have gone dark squared bishop first. Yeah, then he can't do that. Well, good, but okay. Misplay on my parts. If I just leave him, which piece do you think he's gonna take? Probably the knight. So I go here, takes the knight. Pawn takes. Don't wanna say bring my knight back. This isn't terrible either. All right. Getting a pawn here on c6 isn't the worst thing in the world. Always come back. Wow. Okay. Knight here. I guess just g6. Kind of bad. Knight here. We just come back. Here g6. Knight here f5. Can't play f5. Okay. 5. Pawn takes en passant. Is there anything there? All right. Have to play it. Not the worst thing in the world, but seen better. We'll see what our opponent does here. think my slight mistake here was not playing bishop b6 in this position. You could still play here, but maybe that just forces like a bunch of trades on d4, like takes, I don't know, something like that. Or at least saves the light square bishop a bit. We'll remove that just in case he does take. Like the pawns in front of our king aren't the worst, aren't in the worst shape. He can't really push here because he drops the knight. Don't think he wants to launch the f pawn. We could always pin this knight. At this point, we could come back with the knight since it's guarded twice. We could kind of make a decision if how we'd want to take back. Having to play this move though, like, how do we ever play f6 now? With pieces on the board, it gets a lot more difficult. I guess technically we could still play it. Next move. No, it drops this pawn. But maybe if we get this trade. Well, we did say we were going to put all of our pawns on light squares, and we got there for the most part. A lot quicker to reach 19 to 20 moves here than the last game. I feel like we took our time last game more so. Interesting move. Not really threatening f7. Our knight covers and our rook covers. Now if... Okay, now I just want to play, I think, bishop here. Am I missing something big? Knight takes. We can probably just take back with our rook, I guess. Is that what's... No, yeah, knight takes, rook takes. We just win a piece. Take with the rook. What's he saying if we... Here? Takes... Take with that. Play, move on. I kind of want to get on this dark square diagonal. Seems like a good square to be on. Alright, let's keep it moving. Not seeing the tactics just yet. I mean, he wins 2 pawns for a piece, I guess. But yeah, he really doesn't. As long as we take back with the rook, his queen's always on attack. Not sure what the point of this move was. Going here. Is that maybe that's what his goal was? Here, king to g7. And if we have to, we could always play like rook h8 if we have to guard this. In order to like ever get enough pieces, he's gonna have to move this knight out of the way, and at that point we could probably just go here. Then we'd have enough time to like go over to defend the h file. It's here now. Okay. King G7. Not King G7. He's trying to do like some covered attacks on our knight. 7. He could trade queen for pawn. I could also play knight to f5. What does that look like? Knight f5. Let's say knight takes. Pawn take. Over. Push. Probably don't want to take like that. Seems faster. Knight here. Knight takes. Pawn takes. Have to do that. G7 seems like a pretty natural move. Helps f6, ace, pawns, 7 and knight. That's what it is. It's knight, king g7. Knight takes pawn, pawn takes knight, and work on queen. Seven takes. Other move. Excuse me. Go here. -1, +2, -1. +8. -1 thin. Check out. All stems from. They just take the knight. That solves a little bit of the problem, I guess. Hmm. Right now the threat is knight takes, I think, because of our knight hanging. If we just take the bishop back. There's some crazy lines where we just sack a bunch of, like, every pawn here. Knight here, knight there, pawn takes, knight takes. Knight takes here, takes, takes, queen takes, rook takes, king takes. Yes. Here. Oof, that's kind of crazy. Takes the knight. Can't take the knight. Right, I mean, we have to play this. Push tries to push a pawn. I mean, take. Let's see if he goes for this sack. I don't know if it's any good. I mean, I think that's just like the craziest stuff that I could see there. Like, this is losing. King G7 is losing for anyone that does not see because of it takes pawn takes check. Okay, okay. I guess his claim is going to be that can play along the dark squares. Somehow he gets like in there. If he pushes, we just have to ignore it. Not take. Not be good. Push. Take. Not a fan. Not a fan of this position. This is a weak square. We would love to take of. Just messed up. I don't think we can take like this. Suicide. Immediate queen. Before king h8, I guess. Brutalized. I think e6 is pretty strong. Okay. Okay. Here. Work here. What about that? It's interesting. Is it really that interesting though? Guess not. Check. How's he guard against mate in that situation, I guess? Can't push here. Maybe we can hold to a draw there. We're getting a pawn and a knight for a rook. Not really a deal. We pawn. Ah, man, I lost the thread of the game here. This move probably was the losing move. Probably just had to take. Take, play f6. Probably even this. This is probably way more important than this move. Supports e6 for whenever we go for this pawn push. I think we have to go for the rook down, for the rook for a pawn and its endgame. Needs to play the immediate e7. I think this is not necessarily losing, but it bails us out. Our idea is to threaten checkmate here. Obviously, take would check. I think even if he moved bishop, we can still play this. Or he's playing well. Like I said, this was our first major misstep. Bishop to b6 is an immediate threat. It's where our bishop wants to be. Like, we're undermining this pawn with f6 anyways. By playing here and then not trading, put us in a really bad spot. I'm not happy with it. I think it's this knight and pawn for the rook, and a bunch of trades. Here, maybe we can hold bishops. We will have to see. Okay. Takes, knight takes. I mean, if I play, what if, like. Oh, alright. Rook takes pawn. Knight takes rook. 5. Threatening checkmate. It's not a. It's check. Is that a real move? So let's checkmate to deal with though. Alright, so obviously here blunders. Here that. Knight and 2. Okay, I thought. In here, I mean, you can't defend with a pawn. Here, check. Say king f8. Saying there's no more. Here, check. Take. Check. And then we just have to find a good king move. Picking up this. I mean, this is pretty brutal coming down the light and dark squares at him. Got this, but no way for him to. All these light squares are good. I think we're at least winning a piece back. I don't actually know how he defends mate that well. Once we take here, like this is on push. This comes with check, then check, next check. And we're taking here, and now we have two pieces for a rook. All right, I don't think we're completely under 6 feet under just yet. Got a little bit of life left in us, so I guess I should be thinking about knight to h6. I think that's his only real continuation. Still don't know. Like knight h6, the idea to like give up the bishop for a pawn, but then I mean this is still a threat. Okay. Okay, so as long as we don't go on this diagonal, I think we're good. That's a queen trade. Don't want the queen. Obviously. So I think it's just king f7 or king f8. Sorry, king f8. Like here or here just falls into the check. Yeah, like so. Jack takes, rook takes. Well, okay. King here, probably bishop takes first. Gets a pawn for his bishop. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Oh, he can't do that because then he. But if he does that, then he has to pick up the pair. So here, check. Queen takes queen, rook takes queen. Pawn takes bishop. Knight is trapped here. Okay, I think king g7 is playable. I think it is playable from what I'm seeing, but king f8, is that just the better move? f8. And then what? What does he do? Pawn push. Guess here. King there. Check. I think the only like bad move. F8. Ending checkmate. No. Can't push the. Sack the rook back? Sack the rook back, I guess? Is that the only way? Rook there because we can't take. F8. I think every other move's bad for him. He can't push his pawn. Can't defend with the queen. King to 1 runs into check. Back. A repetition there. The most serious a rook. So this is wild. This is actually wild. I think his best move is gonna be 4. I play king to f8. F8, rook to 4, take rook. We're gonna win a pawn. Like, I think we're in a great position. Funny enough, somehow we're coming out on top. I thought this position was way more difficult if he pushed here instead of taking. All right, so we know pretty much this is, I think, the worst move. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna look at the engine later. And it's gonna be like, you win the game. You play king h8, checkmate in 100. Trying to see. Am I just blind? Oh no. Oh shit. Okay. Why we quadruple check everything? King f8, bishop b4. I'm sure everyone was screaming that in the chat as I was just rambling. Okay, let's say he plays bishop b4, king g7. Then what? Then he does the queen trade, I guess. Takes, and I only get a knight for the rook, and he's okay. So king f8 is not the 7 takes. Not take here because they're just fine. That's just it's not even repetition because we have light squares. Pretty wants. 7, knight takes 5. Pawn takes 5. He doesn't have time for 5. Don't want. Funny enough, king h8. What happens on king? I guess just king h8 though. We just trade queens. I get a bishop. He gets a pawn. And then I play here. Gets 2 pawns for the piece. Here, knight takes pawn. H8. Still has this. If I go back, he played check again. Maybe there's a repetition there. King f8 looks like the worst possible option. What I thought was the best is actually xd. Here, and might just be worth it to go back, funny enough. This doesn't guard mate because it's checkmated. Knight takes f5. Oh wait, oh fuck that. Wow, king h8, just like right, or maybe not. check. Wow, we actually check and then we play. Holy then we play King F8 because now there's no bishop. Check on. Holy crap. Check here. Nothing like threatening mate. This is a pretty crazy position. I'm gonna get some water. Maury, come on, buddy. Just let me play checkmate in one. Just let me play it. Okay, man. It's okay. Let the good guys win today. Let the good guys win, please. Back to I don't have to look at this one more seriously. Like, go back, place check again. I go up, off. Yeah, we'll play a few more moves, but we are starting to look. Starting. Probably been dead lost for a little while here. Let the game slip out of our hands there in the middle game. I wouldn't be surprised if we were. I mean, we knew we were even at move like 12 or 13, like equalized, but if we had a slight advantage. By that, I mean like maybe like minus 0.5 at some point, minus point. Here, see that the tough part is like any of the dark squares that we go to after he plays here, can't go there. Just asking for it. Same with anything like that. I mean, it's just discoveries anywhere along the F file. Which only leaves G8 and H8 available. Maybe H8 was just better here. Like I said, 4. H8's gonna be. That was like semi-playable, probably like +5 for white, but here, I mean, I guess we can trade down 3 points of material. I think Mori will find the right moves. I wouldn't be surprised. Player, or she. Man, we just started getting our roll on too. We had a win and a tie after. Yeah, he does find that. Oh yeah, we can't play G8 because of the knight fork. All right, so at this point we have to decide. King H8, Queen E5, force to take, Rook takes, Pawn takes Bishop. Probably moves. Where does he move Knight to? Here. No, no, no. Pawn takes Queen to G5. This was the other route that I had looked at. 5 check. H8. Yes. F6. Check. Gate. Still gets the queen trade, but in that position, we're winning. Yep. We're dead lost, so let's just didn't move there because of here because of knight or the rook and the queen. Still threatening mate in one. Our opponent has to check us. That's our only hope here, is that we somehow get a perpetual out of our opponent here and can force a draw. We're only going to be down a pawn in this position. Like I said, he has to, I think he has to trade queens, right? Or just go for perpetual. Here, takes. Somehow we've gone from minus down 5 points to maybe staying alive somehow. Okay, and then he's going to have doubled pawns. Our light square bishop's going to probably do okay there, putting some pressure there. Like, I don't know how we got to this position. He plays here, I'm just going to offer him a draw. And I know it's a little bit of a BM move. Really, if you're down material, you shouldn't, like, at least in over the board classical, usually not appropriate to offer the draw. Must pray for a mouse slip for the mods. Mouse slip, please. There is justice in this world against the moderator. Pray for a mouse slip. So 2 bishops and a rook versus 2 rooks. If we if he decides to go for the queen trade. Queen trade looking like this. Takes, rook takes, pawn takes bishop. Pawn takes pawn. Then I'm thinking either bishop here, like rook c8. I mean, if we can get both of those pawns, maybe we're cooking with gas. Who knows? Repeating. Okay, we'll go back. I did offer him a draw. Again, checkmate threat on the board. Takes. I mean, he could do this. Well, then he doesn't have any checks, so he actually cannot take this. We guard all the checks on our Might have escaped here with a draw. We'll see. He can repeat and then go for the queen trade after that. Maybe he's just getting a little bit of time on his clock. Draw offer has been sent. See what Mori thinks of that. Anybody that's been hanging out here, I'll look at the chat after the game. But if you don't mind hitting the subscribe button, always appreciated. Some likes on the live always helps. I've been getting some good viewership, 30 to 40 of you guys coming through for the games. I really appreciate that. I try to go support some of the other streamers. There's a lot of active streamers in the Lichess4545 community. They're all good players, fun to watch, and they're from all over the world, which is kind of cool. Wow, I mean, yeah, and you can't push the pawn here because then, oh wow, he accepted the draw. I mean, good game, well played. I somehow, yeah, I don't know. He goes, wow. I don't know, man. Crazy. Crazy. End game. We'll go into the analysis board. I'm going to pull the chat open, guys. We had a draw. A draw accepted on board. I do open up the Lichess stuff as well. Wow, it is actually a draw. Holy crap. The computer says it's a draw. I'm going to switch the scenes here. So you guys can see the, you're not going to see the evaluation, but maybe I can. Okay, we can do that. Okay. Crazy game here. So I'm opening up the chat. Miss B, I'm assuming that's Mills B's. Yes, man. Move 27, Bishop B4 check. I almost missed it. I'll be honest. I almost completely missed that. Let me hit the transition button. You guys should be able to see the evaluation now. It's kind of crazy that was a draw. I'll read the chats. All right, let's go through the game. We're gonna request a computer analysis while we're waiting here. All right, E4. This was all theory that I had looked at, and yeah. Also, you guys see that? I'm scrolling down. He had a slight advantage on move 13, minus 1.5. I knew he. So this was all theory. Bishop B6, Rook E1, castle. Bishop C7, D7, and then there was two moves here. So like I said, A5, and Bishop D7's fine. That I ran this to depth 40 earlier, and I thought that knight F4 was a move, but maybe I'm wrong. I let it run for a little while in this position because this is usually, if we pull up the opening book here for our opponent Mori as white, he had one game in this position and his opponent played knight takes d4. I keep letting it run here. Hopefully the stream is holding up. I know I've had some lost frames in the past when I run the analysis. Again, somehow we held that. It looks like it was +4 for my opponent at one point. Not sure, where did I get this knight to F4 idea? I swear I saw that in. Maybe I just mixed up the moves. Yeah, alright. Well, we played knight F4, which like I said isn't bad. You can see it's only +0.5, and then our opponent, it was just F6 here. Only move fine, funny enough. Oh, sounds good. What's up, MSB? Appreciate it, man. Or women, Miss B. Sorry, I just assumed since I'd played Mills B's and I know he's an active part of the community. But welcome. I've seen you in a few of the chats after I've pulled stuff open in some of my games. So I always appreciate you stopping by. Kind of a crazy game here, especially on day one. So f6 was a move here, a5, and knight takes d3, which is what I played, is pretty much dead even. Oh, I didn't play that. I played bishop d7. Calls it a blunder. And it's because we give up kind of a pawn advantage, but f6. So f6 here, if takes, I guess these pawns start rolling. This is kind of a nutty situation here. We sack 2 pawns to get both of our pawns in the center to move. So that's an interesting thing to look at there, finding f6. But we did not find f6, and at this point, we end up getting a even game right up to this move here, and where I played bishop to c6, which I thought was the losing move. Let me see what happens when I scroll down, if you guys can see the graph at all. You can kind of see the graph. Okay, so yeah, this is the start of the ramp up. So how bad was bishop to b6? So bishop b6 would have been a way better move here. Missed it. And yeah, at this point we just have to trade. It's gonna allow his bishop into the game. Unfortunate. All right, that's not what happened. 6. Bishop b6, top move. f4. It's my opponent threatening. Bring in the knight back. Okay, this is all fine. This is actually a blunder. I thought this was, I completely missed. No, I didn't miss. All right, d4. What did it want here? It gives him a pawn advantage. Just the simple, I guess, blockade this pawn from ever moving forward. Then maybe you can play along the dark squares. Here, I guess we would trade. Oh, queen, king takes f7 is actually just yeah, this queen d5 move is so strong. So strong. Glad I found this idea, even though my opponent... What was the winning move here? Okay, first off... Wow, yeah, king h8. The one move I said, I knew that was gonna... king h8 is the top engine move in this position. The move I ruled out right from the start. Yeah, wild. Actually, knight takes just zeros down the board. Here, I thought I saw some of this stuff. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna run if go take my dog out, but I appreciate everyone that stopped in for the game today. I looks like I just got my lone wolf pairing with butter pecan. So we will we'll have that stream. It looks like it's going to be a weekend stream, so Friday, Saturday, and we will have that on the board. Hopefully, we'll get a stream with Jordan, Chess with Jordan, later this week to go over our game that we played 2 days ago. And good game to Mori. Appreciate it. It's been a while. I feel like since I played a nice Carl Khan game on the black side. So, in a position that I don't get often when I play in my rapid games, or I don't play too many classical, but in my rapid games. So, GG's to Mori. Awesome opponent, super strong. Happy to just walk out of here with the draw, and we'll see you guys next time.